Today I'm going to be discussing public transit, its usage and expansion to help reduce traffic. You just graduated college and have landed a job in Chicago. Being a fresh graduate, you decide to live at home in the suburbs for a couple of years so that you can afford an apartment in the city eventually. The problem is the commute. The drive to work is at least 40 minutes without traffic, but there is almost always traffic. As you sit in your car, bumper to bumper, listening to your favorite music or podcast, you see a bus zip past you in the express lane. It's going at a normal speed, meanwhile, your foot is on the brakes. You perform this ritual every day for years. Why are we stuck in a slow lane when a faster option is literally in our blind spot? America's underuse of public transit systems leads to increased traffic. Public transit systems are rare in American cities. There are 3,000 transit authorities in America, but nearly 20,000 cities, according to the U.S. Census data and Transit for America. This is not nearly enough to transport Americans for their daily lives. Our lack of public transit systems contributes to why millions of Americans have long commutes. While we don't choose our infrastructure systems directly, our daily commute habits do directly influence traffic. The National Bureau of Economic Research states in a 2013 article that average highway congestion delays increased 47% when public transit service was not available. This is due to an influx of people driving personal vehicles and congesting the highways. Most people drive to work alone, so there's only one person per car. Commuting also has a hidden cost, time. The average American spends 225 to 235 hours per year commuting. According to the US Census Bureau, time is wasted being stuck in traffic. Meanwhile, time is saved on the train or bus where you can be productive or even just take a break and look out the window while also being on the move. Traffic pays not only in wasted time but also carries an environmental cost. Increased traffic contributes negatively to the environment. A 2013 study showed that traffic is a leading contributor of carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, volatile organic compounds, hydrocarbons, nitrogen oxides, and particulate matter. These are all hazardous to human health and not only impact commuters, but also impact the communities who live around highways. We need to utilize our existing public transit systems and also expand access to these systems to reduce traffic. Utilizing public transit systems we already have influences the funding and future access to these systems. Strong usage of public transit systems shows that there is a need to continue funding these systems that people rely on for their daily lives. Increased ridership leads to increased funding, which can help expand the services and make the system even better for the community. Public transit is more efficient than driving a personal vehicle. A bus or a train car is able to move far more people in a much smaller space compared to a car that usually only carries one person to and from work each day. Less cars on the road is the key to reducing traffic. This is demonstrated in this graphic by the Philadelphia Inquirer that shows 50 people can look different depending on their chosen modes of transportation. However, public transit is not commonly used or advocated for a number of reasons. A common criticism of public transit is that it takes longer than driving. That perception isn't always true. When buses and trains are late, it is usually due to factors outside of their control, mainly traffic. If there were less people driving cars, it would in turn create less traffic for the buses, and therefore your bus would arrive on time. Think about this example. It takes 1 hour and 15 minutes by train to get from Aurora to Chicago's Union Station in the heart of downtown. To make the same journey driving, it would take upwards of an hour and a half during rush hour. The train bypasses all of the car traffic. There's often a stigma surrounding public transit and how it is for poor people. We can take a step back and examine where this stigma comes from. Our society frames vehicle ownership as the ultimate freedom. However, and not having a car can make someone perceived as low income. However, there is nothing low income about partaking in an efficient system. Additionally, people who would like to use public transit and advocate for its funding or survival might not know how to do that, or might think that their actions won't actually do anything. Contacting local representatives is quick and easy, and just leaving a simple voicemail on your House or congressional representative's phone can show that they have constituents that have a need for this service in the community that they were elected to represent. Now, let's go back to your commute. You decide to take the bus, and along with many other hardworking suburbanites, you're able to get to work early and be productive on your commute, something that you would not have otherwise been able to do if you were in your car. So, what can you personally do to help reduce traffic and expand public transit access on our streets? Next time you go out, try taking public transit instead of driving. Even small increases in ridership and one less car on the road can go a long way to influence change. Governments look at ridership numbers to determine needs and funding. And living in a world with better public transit is possible if people keep riding and utilizing these systems. Google Maps and other map services often have a public transit option for directions that makes it easy to see what routes to take. Contact your local representatives. They can be found at the following link. And voice your support for the future of America's public transit network. You can use this script found at actionnetwork.org, which makes it convenient and takes less than 5 minutes to do so. Small actions like these can help create the change needed to reduce traffic and increase usage of public transit, and even increase its funding for our public transit systems all across the country. Thank you. And my works cited is in the description.